and welcome to Daily News Simplified, the answer to what, why and how of newspaper reading. Today I am going to discuss Delhi edition dated 3rd April 2018 of The Hindu. So let's begin. The first article that we will discuss today appears on page 9 and it reads Federalism and Fairness. So this article basically deliberates whether India is evolving from a union of states to a federation of states. It also mentions about the growing regional demands of states across India with respect to constitutional autonomy, fair distribution of tax proceeds, and assertion of cultural and linguistic rights. For example, Karnataka government has recently unveiled an official state flag of their own. So in this respect, the issue of federalism becomes very important and questions pertaining to this have been asked in the prelims exam as well. So let us first understand the concept of federalism as envisaged by the Constitution of India and then we will come back to this question. So Article 1 of the Indian Constitution mentions that India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. It means that the states do not have the power or right to secede away from the Union of India. Also, unlike United States of America, in India, different states have not formed because of an agreement among the states. Next, Article 3 of the Indian Constitution empowers the Parliament to create new states and it allows the Federation to evolve, grow and respond to regional aspirations. Also, when a new state is formed, Schedule 1 and Schedule 4 of the Constitution shall be amended. Here, Schedule 1 contains the lists of states and union territories and Schedule 4 provides for the allocation of seats in Rajya Sabha. Here, the allocation of seats is made on the basis of population of each state. And that is why the allocation of seats may be unequal due to difference of population in different states. So after understanding these 2 points, it is clear that the Constitution of India effectively establishes a system where the union government functions at the center and the respective state governments function at the provinces. Also, the Constitution has demarcated each level of government by devising a scheme of distribution of legislative, administrative and financial powers between the center and the states. In this respect, Article 246 of the Indian Constitution enumerates the federal character of the Indian Constitution. This article empowers the Parliament to make laws under the Union list, states to make laws under the state list, and both the Parliament and states to make laws under the concurrent list. So these are the main key features of the federal character of the Indian Constitution. Another important point is that the Indian Constitution provides for an independent judiciary. Now the debate in this article is that whether India is evolving from a union of states to a federation of states. However, as per Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had clearly mentioned that India is a union and not a federation of states. He had stated that the drafting committee wanted to make it clear that though India was to be a federation, the federation was not the result of an agreement by the states to join in a federation, and that the federation not being the result of an agreement, no state has the right to secede from it. The federation is a union because it is indestructible. So all these above points state that there is a clear demarcation of powers between the union and states. With regards to federalism, we should also understand the meaning of the term cooperative federalism. Cooperative federalism basically is a concept of federalism in which national, state and increasingly local governments interact cooperatively and collectively to solve common problems rather than making policies separately. Also, cooperative federalism was the major theme of the 14th Finance Commission. So with the help of this discussion, we have understood about the nature of federalism in India, whether India is a federation of states or a union of states, and we know that India is a union of states. And similarly, what are the constitutional provisions which mentioned that India is a union of states. Now we will be able to solve the question that we discussed earlier. It says, which one of the following is not a feature of the Indian federalism? First, there is an independent judiciary in India. This is correct. Powers have been clearly divided between the center and the states. This is correct. The federating units have been given unequal representation in the Rajya Sabha. This is also correct. And the last statement is, it is the result of an agreement among the federating units. And this statement is incorrect. So the correct answer is option D. With this, we will move on to the next article. The next article that we will discuss appears on page 5 and it reads, new plant species reported from the Western Ghats. So a new grass-like plant species, namely Fimbristylis agastya melensis, has been found in the Western Ghats. So in UPSC Prelims 2016, a question was asked that our scientists have discovered a new and distinct species of banana plant, and in which part of India has it been discovered. So that is why this news also becomes important, as it talks about a new plant species that has been discovered in Western Ghats. Also, with the help of this discussion, let us try to understand some key points about Western Ghats. And then we will discuss this question as well. Firstly, the local name of Western Ghats is Sahyadri in Maharashtra, Sahya Parvatam in Kerala, and Nilgiri Malai in Tamil Nadu. Also, as it is clear from the map, that Western Ghats run parallel to the western coast of Indian Peninsula. Also, Western Ghats are a UNESCO World Heritage Site and they are one of the 10 global biodiversity hotspots. Also, we should know that India has 2 biodiversity hotspots. One of them is Western Ghats and the other is the Northeast Himalayas. The other fact that we should know is that Western Ghats pass through 6 states in India. These are Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Also, the Western Ghats start from Dang district in Gujarat, which is in the south of Tapi river, and ends at Swamithope in Kanyakumari. Also, Western Ghats meet the Eastern Ghats at Bilgiri Rangan Hills in Karnataka and Satyamangalam Tiger Reserve. So till now we have discussed about the local name of Western Ghats in India. Which states does the Western Ghats pass through? What are the starting points and ending points of Western Ghats? And where do they meet Eastern Ghats? Next we will discuss some of the important ranges that constitute Western Ghats. These are Sahyadri in north, Nilgiri Hills, Annamalai and Cardamom Hills. Next, the highest peak of Western Ghats is Anaimudi in Kerala. We should also know what are the important coasts across the Western Ghats. So the northern coast is Konkan coast, the central portion is called as Kanara and the southern portion is called as Malabar coast. So these are the important coasts of the Western Ghats. Next we will discuss the important rivers that originate in Western Ghats. The west flowing rivers that originate in Western Ghats are Periyar, Netravati, Shravati, Mandovi, and east flowing rivers are Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. Please remember these rivers originate in the Western Ghats. There are other rivers as well that flow in the Western Ghats, but they may not originate from Western Ghats. For example, Narmada and Tapi. These rivers flow in the Western Ghats, but they do not originate in Western Ghats. Also, there are some protected areas in the Western Ghats which are important. This includes the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, which contains various important national parks such as Bandipur National Park, Wayanad National Park, Mudumalai National Park and Silent Valley National Park. The last important fact that you should know about the Western Ghats is that it consists of endemic fauna. Endemic fauna is that fauna which is specific to that particular area. Some of the important endemic fauna that are found in Western Ghats are Malabar large spotted civet, which is an endangered nocturnal mammal, lion-tailed macaw, which is endangered and is arboreal, brown palm civet, which are nocturnal and come under the least concerned category, and Nilgiri tahr or Nilgiri ibex, which is a goat antelope and it is classified as endangered on the IUCN Red List. So with the help of this discussion, we have understood many key facts about the Western Ghats, which are all important from the UPSC Prelims exam point of view. Now let us come back to the question. It says, from the ecological point of view, which one of the following assumes importance in being a good link between the Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats? And we know from the below discussion that the answer is option A, that is Satyamangalam Tiger Reserve. With this, we will move on to the next article. The next article we are going to discuss appears on page 13 and it reads, Core sector grows 5.3% in February. So this article says that the 8 infrastructure sectors grew by 5.3% in February 2018. Now here the important term is this word core sector. Core sector is basically a group of 8 infrastructure industries that form a major part of the index of industrial production, and they basically present an overall picture of the manufacturing sector of the country. So these 8 core industries include coal, crude oil, natural gas, refinery products, fertilizers, steel, cement and electricity. All these 8 industries form a part of the index of industrial production, and their combined weight in the IIP or the index of industrial production is around 40%. Also, as you can see from this table that we have taken from the economic survey, the maximum weight among these 8 core industries is accounted for by the refinery products. Another important fact to note from here is that during the time period April to November 2017-18, the growth rate of 2 sectors have been negative, and these are crude oil and fertilizers. So please understand from here that these 8 core industries are a part of the index of industrial production. That is, one index for them is calculated separately and they form around 40% of the index of industrial production. We should also know that this index is calculated by the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion. Also in Prelims 2012, a question was asked which said in India, in the overall index of industrial production, the indices of 8 core industries have a combined weight of 37.9%. Which of the following are among those 8 core industries? So we can see from the options here that cement, fertilizers, natural gas and refinery products are a part of the 8 core industries, but textiles are not a part of this. Therefore, the correct answer is option C. So from the prelims exam point of view, you should know these 3-4 key points about which industries are included in the 8 core industries, what is their weight in the overall IIP, which sector accounts for the maximum weight amongst the 8 core industries, which organization prepares this index of 8 core industries, and which sectors experienced negative growth in the last year. With this, we will move on to the next article. The next important article appears on page 18 and it reads, Tiangong 1 crashes to Earth. So this article says that Tiangong 1, which is the space station of China, has re-entered the Earth's surface. So this topic is important from the science and technology section, and for the prelims exam, you should know a few key facts about this. Firstly, the country of origin of this space station is China. Secondly, it is a type of space lab which contains 2 modules. These are the experimental module, which exists to house the astronauts, and the reserve module, which contains the power systems and the propulsion systems. Thirdly, the main purpose of this space lab was to master the technology that is required to assemble and operate a space station. Another important fact is that Tiangong 1 was China's first orbital docking, and under this, an unmanned spacecraft named Shenzhou 8 visited the Tiangong 1 space station, and after that, the Shenzhou 9 manned was added, under which the space crew came aboard. So with this discussion, we have understood about the country of origin of Tiangong 1 space station, what type of space station it is and what are its modules, what was the main purpose of Tiangong 1 space station, and that it was China's first orbital docking. With this, we will move on to the next article. Next, we will discuss this data point that appears on page 14 and it reads increasing workload. So it says that there has been a significant increase in the right to information applications and a slight decrease in the rate of disposal. So as you can see from this data, that the unresolved RTIs have increased by 182% from 2012-13 to 16-17. Also, the disposal rate has not been uniform over the years, and as a result, this has led to an increase in the number of unresolved RTI requests. So in this respect, we will try to understand a few key points about the RTI Act 2005. This forms a part of Indian polity and governance, and in the main syllabus, it forms a part of GS paper 2 under the subheading Statutory, Regulatory and Various Quasi-Judicial Bodies. So the RTI Act 2005 has been covered in detail in the October issue of Focus magazine. So let us understand it from there. So the RTI Act 2005 aims to establish open and transparent ecosystem of right to information for the citizens of India so that they can secure information under control of public authorities. Please understand that it is applicable only to public authorities. This act will help in promoting transparency and accountability in public offices, and it will help in reducing corruption through fixing of accountability. Here in RTI, the information basically means any material in any form, including records, documents, memos, emails, opinions, and so on, and information relating to any private body which can be accessed by public authority under any other law for the time being in force. So till now, we have understood the type of information that can be provided under RTI. Also, there are certain types of information that cannot be provided under RTI. So the section 8 and 9 of RTI Act provide for exceptions where information cannot be provided. Some of these important informations are information that may affect the sovereignty and integrity of the country and the security, strategic, scientific or economic interests of the state. Next, information that has been forbidden to be published by any court of law or tribunal cannot be provided under the RTI Act. Also, information including commercial confidence, trade secrets or intellectual property cannot be provided under the RTI Act. Along with this, cabinet papers including records of deliberations of Council of Ministers, Secretaries and other officers is not provided. So these are some of the key types of information that cannot be provided under the RTI Act. Next, the commission that is responsible for providing information under the RTI Act is the Central and State Information Commissions. So the Central Information Commission shall consist of one Chief Information Commissioner and not more than 10 Information Commissioners respectively. The appointments for the Central Information Commission are made by the President based on the recommendations of a selection committee, and that committee consists of the Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition in Lok Sabha and a Union Cabinet Minister. Similarly, at the State Information Commission, appointments are made by the Governor on the recommendations of a committee consisting of Chief Minister, Leader of Opposition in the Legislative Assembly and a Cabinet Minister. So these are some of the important points from the prelims exam point of view for the RTI Act, and the students should remember what is the main aim and purpose of the RTI Act, what type of information is provided and is not provided under the RTI Act, and what is the composition of the Central and State Information Commissions. With this, we come to an end to today's newspaper discussion. Now let's move on to question for the day.